Welcome to the celebration of the sacrament of marriage for soon-to-be John and Jane Doe. The readings that we have just heard were specifically chosen by John and Jane to be exclaimed on this glorious day. So we do them honor by drawing deeper into these particular passages of the mystery of God. I suggest we pay special attention to how God spoke to John and Jane in these scriptures, especially with regards to prayer, self-sacrifice, and union. The first reading needs a little background. Tobiah, the son of Tobit, wants to marry Sarah, and her father is thrilled to allow his daughter to get married. You see, back in the day, they were a little more traditional, and sons and daughters needed their family permission to get married. This is not an outdated concept, but a recognition that marriage is a union of families. Look across the aisles at each other. You are soon about to be one family. This is a joyful day for you as well. The part of their complication is that Sarah has been married 7 times before. However, a demon keeps killing all of her husbands before the consummation of the marital act. Now, I'm confident that this particular issue will not be an issue for John and Jane on their honeymoon. Nevertheless, when couples get married, they do bring their past with them. They bring baggage. I often hear in my marriage counseling sessions that this is not the person that I married. The demons that we carry with us do not disappear with marriage, just as my demons did not disappear when I was ordained. The time of great conflict and difficulty in marriage arises when spouses realize that the other is not God, that the other person cannot meet all of my needs, and that I cannot fulfill the God-shaped hole that is in their heart. Tobit and Sarah realized this, and so on their honeymoon they kneeled at the side of their bed and composed one of the most beautiful prayers of the Old Testament. I know you've just heard it, but let me repeat it again and really try to bring this prayer into your own minds and hearts. Blessed are you, O God of our ancestors, and blessed is your name in all generations forever. Let the heavens and the whole creation bless you forever. You made Adam, and for him you made his wife Eve, as a helper and as a supporter. From the two of them the human race has sprung. You said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make a helper for him like himself. I now am taking this kinswoman of mine, not because of lust, but with sincerity. Grant that she and I may find mercy, and that we may grow old together. Tobiah was willing to risk death to be with Sarah, and implored the help of God. John, this is your vocation, to lay down your life for Jane, as Tobiah laid down his life for Sarah, and Christ laid down his life for the church, his bride. Paul has very much to say about laying down one's life in his readings from the Romans. Paul asks us to offer our bodies as spiritual sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God, our spiritual worship. John and Jane understand that as Christ offered his body as a sacrifice for mankind, so they will do the same. They will become one flesh in Christ at their marital consummation. Their union will become a sacrifice for God and the church, because marriage is a sacrament of service and communion. Let me unpack that a little. We are not made for ourselves. We are not made for ourselves. As the scriptures tell us, it is not good for man to be alone. So God made Eve. Together he made them both in his image. What we learn is that we cannot understand ourselves, find ourselves, or even be ourselves without giving ourselves to another. We see ourselves through our partner, and so we see the image of God. In Eve, Adam saw God. In Adam, Eve saw God. We are not meant to be isolated individuals. Alone and by ourselves, it becomes difficult to even be a human person. However, when we know the other and experience what it is to be loved and to love, then we are willing to sacrifice ourselves for that other. We begin to experience a teeny taste of the love that Jesus had for us when he sacrificed his life on the cross for humanity. It is no wonder that St. Jerome chose to use marital language when translating Jesus' last words on the cross from the Greek to the Latin. It is finished, or in Latin, consummatum est. This is the Latin word from which we get the English word consummation. It is with the attitude of self-sacrifice that John and Jane will carry out their wedding vows. It will not be, what can you do for me, but how may I lay down my life for you. This conformity to Christ will extend to their children and to their grandchildren. Heaven meets earth when Christ's true followers radiate his love for others. What has impressed me most about John and Jane is that they recognize that this love comes from Jesus. The scriptures say, without Jesus we can do nothing. Without Jesus, John and Jane can do nothing. Without Jesus, their marriage will not last. In today's gospel, Jesus asks his Father, quote, that the love with which you loved me may be in them, and I in them. It is the love of the Trinity that makes us truly alive, and this is the life that conquers death. This is the life and the love that will take over when the couple won't be feeling it, when the honeymoon effect has worn off. They are not completely alone. They have Jesus to call out to, just as Tobiah and Sarah did. Their sufferings are a part of the sacrifice of their vocation. Being with the other brings about a loss of self, which is a very painful process. In fact, it is a death. Complications in marriage are not a reason for giving up or for being afraid. They mean that the couple is growing and getting into the other's dark places which no one has ever been allowed to enter. In fact, some are not even aware that these places ever existed. However, the light of Christ's love has exposed them. They are humiliating, hurtful, vulnerable, and often very scary. However, the love of Jesus Christ can radiate through the spouse to bring healing to the other, thus bringing each other closer to Jesus. The ultimate goal of marriage is assisting the other to heaven. The gospel today is a dialogue between Jesus and his Father. I have given them the glory that you have given me, so that they may be one as we are one. The fundamental question of a Catholic should ask in the seeking of a vocation is not how religious should I be, but what path will bring me closer to Jesus in this life. For John, the answer was Jane. For Jane, the answer was John. So we have seen that prayer, self-sacrifice, and union are keys to understanding why John and Jane are getting married today. They wanted their marriage to be a witness to the gospel. Now that you all know what Jane and John are all about, you are called to support them in their mission. Feel free to make their mission your own with your spouse. It's never too late. Remember, true happiness in marriage is only possible with the love of Jesus. He teaches us that prayer, union, and self-sacrifice are the way. Let us continually pray for these virtues for John and Jane as they begin their new life as husband and wife.